gold down there, Diane. There's gold down there.
You're like their number one favorite guy. Because you won them cash. Hi and welcome to the Tour Report from Secret Golf this week for the AT&T Byron Nelson. I'm Diane Knox and Steve Elkington is here. Are you happy that the PGA Tour is back in Texas?
I might even think about taking a little drive up there this week to see the boys, Diane. It's supposed to rain maybe tomorrow, Tuesday, and a little bit Wednesday, but expected to have perfect weather for the rest of the week. So you never know. I may just point that car north.
That would be nice. Right, well, this week our show is, it's a little bit of more of a challenge, only because the tournament is moving to a different course. Now, you can go into the history, but last year the tournament was cancelled because of COVID, and this year they've moved it to a new course, TPC Craig Ranch in McKinney, Texas. The tournament's going to be here for the next 5 years. So we will we'll get a good footprint or roadmap for it this week going forward. But yeah, tell us about the history of the AT&T Byron Nelson, because it's always been such a great tournament on the tour schedule.
Yeah, the AT&T Byron Nelson course, when I was playing the tour, Byron Nelson was still alive, and he would greet us up in Dallas and at Las Colinas, a famous legendary place to go play a tournament. And they moved this tournament, AT&T did, away from the Las Colinas, and they built a new course out of town, Trinity Forest, a Ben Crenshaw course. And it kind of flopped, to be honest with you, Diane. Ben Crenshaw did a great course, but it was too far out for the people to go and attend it what they used to. Byron Nelson had the biggest crowd, the prettiest crowd. All the girls would come to the Byron Nelson, which brought all the boys, which brought all the beer, and all the golfers. They all wanted to be at the Byron Nelson. So it kind of flopped a little bit, Diane, out at Trinity Forest, and now they've moved it to McKinney, Texas. And for us to handicap this event this week is a little tricky, because this course has had some tournaments, but they've been the Corn Ferry events. We'll talk about those in a minute. But so how do we come up with who's the favorites this week? We have to first ask ourselves, Diane, who has the advantage this week? And it's the homeboys. The Texas boys will probably feature higher because they are from this area. They know this golf course. So that automatically gives them a slight advantage.
Mm-hmm. You talk about this course. We've seen it a couple of times. You mentioned the Corn Ferry Tour. It was used to host back when it was the Nationwide Tour, their tour championship, the big finals in 2008. Then it became the Web.com, and their big tour finals were here in 2012. You will see some familiar names in those leaderboards, and we're going to talk about them. There's a lot of the guys that finished well in those events that are in the field this week. So, we're going to take that. We've also looked at the scoring, and it looks like it's going to be low scoring. It's going to be a little bit of a Texas shootout.
Yeah, so we know that 16 under par, 14, 15, 16 won the Corn Ferry events nationwide, as you noted there back then. So we figure that that's 4 under each day. So we figure it'll be a little bit more with the PGA Tour. So let's call it 5 under each day. Let's call it 20 under for the week. Yeah. And how do you get to 20 under, Diane? Well, to me, you've got to be able to putt the ball well. And I think when you start to think about who's in form and who has the advantage being from Texas, I'm not just picking just Texas people, but there just happen to be a ton of good players that live in Dallas. You already mentioned Bryson DeChambeau lives right down the road. We're going to be talking about Bryson. There's another guy, however, Diane, that is affiliated with the AT&T company that will probably be well and truly at the top of the board this week. Is it true? Possibly.
Here's a quick question for you. I know that we have another PGA Tour event coming up soon that's going to be at a brand new course in place of the Canadian Open. When tour players see new courses on the schedule, how much do they want to go and play that course before the tournament rolls around? Or do they just basically do their research, practice rounds, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday?
Yeah, I think it's a good question. They'd like to get over there and play this one. I don't think they have had the chance, but of course, as I talked to, I'm looking this week, it's raining tomorrow, which is all going to play into this breakdown we have this week. Tomorrow's going to be wet. So the guys may not even get on the golf course tomorrow. That's going to be a big job for the caddies to get out and say, okay, guys, here's how we're going to play this. Here's how we're going to play this course. I heard in 08 at the Nationwide, this is how they play this hole. So you get a sort of a roadmap, Diane, but I want informed players. I want Texas guys, and I'm going to weigh heavily on guys that sort of have a little bit of history on this golf course.
And a solid field this week. As you mentioned, Bryson's playing, Dustin Johnson, Jordan Spieth, Brooks Koepka. So we've got some really big names. Anyway, on our show, we're going to re-rank the entire field. We're going to give you our top 10. We have some sizzlers and we have some dark horse picks as well. As we said, because it's a new course, that almost adds to the excitement this week because we do get to throw in some really great names, some very high value picks as well. And it's all coming up on our show.
Compete against your friends on PGA Tour events. Win cash and bragging rights. Test your golf knowledge. Experience the success and failure of PGA Tour players. SG Tour app is an engaging golf experience designed by professional golfers that created a variety of games, including single and multi-day games, as well as tournament-long contests. It's really simple. Join or create a game, pick 4 players, and win cash. You can even immerse yourself in interactive features, including course strategy, putt predictor, and daily content exclusively from PGA Tour players. The word is out and golf fans are catching on. So don't miss out. Download the SG Tour app now.
This week, the PGA Tour is off to Elk's home state of Texas, McKinney, Texas, for the AT&T Byron Nelson. But it's at a different course this year, TPC Craig Ranch. Now, Elk, this is a Tom Weiskopf design. So just hearing that, what does that tell you about the course?
My friend Tom Weiskopf is a great designer, Diane. He always designs big courses, but what I like about a Weiskopf course is he tells you what you have to do visually when you get on the tee. He'll put trouble here and he'll put trouble over there, and he'll ask you to shape that ball to get it into play. And that as you go around the golf course, totally fair designer, gives you great images off the tee of what he's asking you to do. So he likes to make you move the ball right to left and left to right. He tries to test you, shots over bunkers, tight pins, wide pins. He's very strategic, Weiskopf. I just absolutely love Weiskopf design courses.
Good. I mean, that already has just taught us so much about a course that's a new stop on the PGA Tour. As we said in the start, we have seen it twice before. If you were paying attention to the 2008 Nationwide Tour Championship, the big finals, and in 2012 when it was a web.com, this is where that was held. So immediately that's going to throw up some names that we're going to look at. Colt Knost, actually, is one of our Secret Golf contributors. He finished tied for 3rd in 2008. So Mark Leishman finished in a tie for 7th. And then there's some other names from 2012 that we will talk about as we go through. But we know a little bit about it. We look at those scores. We know that the scoring is going to be fairly low. So what are the main stat categories that we're going to look at this week?
Well, you just mentioned Colt Knost there, and I know some other medium range hitters. I looked at the history of this event, and so that tells me, just like a Weiskopf course, asking players to play strategy off the tee, can't just smash it down there anywhere. So Colt happens to be one of the shortest players on the tour when he played. Very good putter. He was actually the best putter inside of 10 feet of the whole tour. The whole PGA Tour was Colt Knost. So we're going to be looking at driving accuracy and driving distance combined. We're going to be looking at greens and reg. But I think, Diane, the most important stat is how do you get to 20 under? Probably that's the only way we can evaluate this week. It's putting.
Yeah.
Birdie chances. How many chances do you get per day? Do I get 15 greens in reg? Do I get 15 putts at it? And who's putting well enough? Who's good at doing those kind of things? So who plays smart enough to get the looks they need?
Right, well, we're going to dive right into our re-ranked top 10. And our number one is Jordan Spieth. Jordan Spieth just being the Dallas golfing hero pretty much. I mean, Bryson lives near the course, but the fans love Jordan. He won in Texas at the Valero Texas Open not long ago. And I mean, there's no other place we could put him apart from bang at the top this week.
Well, I don't know if Jordan's played this course, but I'm betting he has because he grew up in Dallas. But he's the most motivated. He represents AT&T. He's the most rested. He's the best putter in the field. And he's already won in Texas. And it's going to be windy, and he knows the course. So all that, Diane, of course, Jordan Spieth is going to be sitting on top of the list. He won in Texas, as you said. He played very well at the Masters. Yeah. He's gotten over all of his problems with his driving. I think everything points to him being at least the favorite on our book this week.
That's been the question mark for a while, and his total driving stat still on the PGA Tour is 183rd, so it's a very high stat. But as you say, he's rested. He hasn't been playing as much since he got that win and gearing up for the PGA Championship next week. But do you think that is a slight concern on this course this week?
Well, Jordan went through a patch where he drove it terrible, and he started to pull out of it. And of course, if you have stats that are 180th in, driving accuracy, and then you start to go out of it and you start to win, those stats, Diane, they're not going to change for 6 months or 8 months to pull back. So you've got to dig a little deeper. You've got to say, well, how's he driving it right now? That's all that I'm really interested in. And I know that Jordan's been working on a couple of things. I know what he's doing with his swing. He's going to get good at it. He's so gifted, but let's face it, Diane, even when he misses the fairway, he's still a genius. He is the absolute Seve Ballesteros of our tour. Best putter we have.
We talk about Colt Knost, and Colt's doing great working for CBS and Golf Channel right now, hearing him on the telecast every week. He's such good friends with Jordan Spieth. We said that Colt's played the course before and finished third here in the nationwide finals way back in 2008. But I'm sure they've talked about it as well. And as you say, would be extremely surprised if Jordan hasn't gone out there and played the course.
Jordan will know everything. Like I said, he's motivated the most. He's with AT&T. He will be involved in this tournament all the way, and he'll have played this course probably 2 or 3 or 4 times in the last 2 weeks getting ready for this event.
Coming in at number 2 is Bryson DeChambeau. Get that out of the way because we've said that he lives close by Elk. I think the story of him last week flying home from Charlotte after he thought he was going to miss the cut. I saw a lot of people had screenshotted his Instagram story because he was like, well, I just flew home for a quick workout, not talking about the fact that he thought he missed the cut and he bailed early. But then he flew back and had a great weekend around Quail Hollow.
By the way, that has happened so many times on tour where guys have thought they've missed the cut and left. I'll give you one. Billy Ray Brown and I were playing together in Endicott, New York. We were roommates in college, and he was going to miss the cut, or I was going to miss the cut in Endicott, New York. Our football team was playing very close to, they were playing in Syracuse, New York the next day, and we looked at one another on about the 15th hole, and I think I said to him, I said, hey, if we both missed the cut, we could go to the football tomorrow. So we kind of took a dive coming in so we could leave. So this happens all the time. It wasn't a big deal. Of course, it was a big deal because Bryson had to fly up in his private jet, did a workout, and Instagrammed it. I wouldn't have told anyone. But he did come back and have a great weekend. And the most dangerous thing with Bryson DeChambeau is to bet on him when he first comes out of a 3-week break. And he did it again to us, but he got lucky and made the cut. I think he's over it, Diane. He got through it, and now he's back on form. And watch out, because he's down the street. He can work out all he wants, and he's going to be fine.
I wondered that too. Like, why tell anyone? He could have easily passed it off, and nobody. I mean, someone might have found out in the kind of inner golf circle and talked, but he didn't need to make a big deal out of it. Anyway, it's funny. We know that things that he does just amuses us and entertains us a little bit more each week on the PGA Tour.
But by the way, he flew back and made the cut, and he finished 9th. $220,000 he won for finishing 9th, Diane. I've won less for winning tournaments, so it's a very lucrative flight back.
Yeah, well, that covers the cost of flying private, I'm sure. Okay then, right, coming in at number 3 in our re-ranking this week is Sam Burns, a recent winner. It's great to say that because we've championed Burns for such a long time, but he won at the Valspar round, a very challenging Innisbrook, took last week off. So he's going to be back. You know, he'll have people saying congratulations on the win. He's going to be full of confidence and feeling refreshed.
Yeah, we talked at the top here. We have no course knowledge. These players haven't played the course. So what do we go with? We're going with form. Sam Burns just won at Innisbrook. Yep. The guy played on a very difficult golf course. And we have guys that are really expert at the southern conditions. Wind, Bermuda grass, that's all over it for Sam Burns. He's earned the right. I mean, he could have been number 1 if Jordan wasn't representing AT&T. But Sam Burns has found himself now as a true winner. He had given up a bunch of leads over 4 or 5 times. He was leading after 36 holes, had a 3-shot lead at LA with 8 holes to go. Boom. Now he's a winner, and he's on his way.
And just extremely impressive to watch him go and win at the Valspar a few weeks ago. So no reason why that form's not going to continue. Okay, well, we know that very few guys have played the course that the tournament is held on this year. But this one definitely has. Plus, he has winning momentum on his side too. Mark Leishman finished in a tie for 7th in 2008 for the Nationwide Tour Finals and won with his partner Cam Smith at the Zurich Classic just a few weeks ago.
Yes, so Leishman broke the mold a little bit. He's not a Texas guy, didn't play last week, but yes, you noted he won 2 weeks ago in New Orleans. He also, as you said, finished in the top 10 here, so he knows the golf course.
Yeah.
There's one guy that has a huge advantage, and what is that advantage? Is it 1 stroke per 9? Probably 2 a day, so 8 strokes over the rest of the field. Maybe 5 strokes. So it's a 5-stroke advantage when you know the golf course, particularly someone like Leishman, who's very clever, very good up and down man, very good putter. Yes, Leishman is a certain bet this week.
Okay, so he's our number 4. And then coming in at number 5 is a Texan, for sure. Again, who played pretty well at the Zurich Classic. He was defending champion with his partner, John Rahm. Ryan Palmer knows these conditions back to front.
Ryan Palmer is a Texas expert. I mean, he's a long hitter. He's a member at the Colonial Golf Club, not very far from this one. He'll have played this course. He's from Dallas. He knows all about it. He knows how to play this course, play the wind, putt on these greens. Yes, Ryan Palmer is having a terrific year, almost gets better each year with age. I remember 5, 6, 7 years ago, we were talking about Ryan Palmer. Well, is he going to cruise on to the Champions Tour? What's he going to do? No. It's gone the opposite. He's turned everything around, and now he's probably one of the best players on tour for his age there ever was. It's fantastic to see Ryan Palmer playing.
Stats are so solid. I think he's probably playing the best he's ever played in his golfing career. So, of course, we've got him in there. So that's our top 5. Jordan Spieth, Bryson DeChambeau, Sam Burns, Mark Leishman and Ryan Palmer. Still to come, we'll run through the rest of our re-ranked top 10. We will give you our sizzlers as well. A lot of high value picks and some dark horse knowledge for you too.
Get in the game on the SG Tour Golf Gaming app and play 4-ball. It's a classic stroke play competition based on the aggregate scores of 4 players. Who makes your team? Well, pick 4 guys, 1 from each tier based on the current World Golf Rankings. Want a tip? You need 4 guys to make the cut. Get in the game on the SG Tour Golf Gaming app, available on iOS in the App Store.
It's the tour report from Secret Golf this week for the AT&T Byron Nelson. Hi. So we're running through our re-ranked top 10. Jordan Spieth, Bryson DeChambeau, Sam Burns, Mark Leishman and Ryan Palmer. Coming in at number 6. Well, I mean, he's just been back in his homeland of Japan and he is now royalty over there, as if he wasn't before. But Hideki Matsuyama just received a top honour from the Prime Minister. I mean, that Masters victory for him, it's like a fairy tale, it really is. And now he's back playing this week in Texas.
he's a different guy when he walks on this golf course this week. He's going to get to see all of his peers for the first time. Diane, he left Sunday night out of Augusta, or Monday morning after Augusta. We haven't seen him for a month. Hasn't done an interview in the U.S. I mean, he is going to be bombarded, but he'll be used to it. He's been in Japan doing interviews, and hope he's had a little bit of practice. But there's no way we can leave out Matsuyama out of the top 10, Diane. He played so great at the Masters. What's going to be of him this week? I don't know. He hits it so straight. Will he be able to handle all this time off? I don't know. But he's still got to be riding a high, and he's going to catch a lot more momentum off all the other tour players. Are going to see him for the first time, and he's going to realize when he gets to the first tee on Thursday, he's going to be introduced as the current Masters champion.
That gives me goosebumps. I'm excited for his caddy as well, because the way that he conducted himself and honoured Augusta National by bowing down on the 18th green, I mean, I just love it. The whole thing was an amazing story, and it's going to be really nice to see that dynamic duo back in action this week. The week before the second major of the year as well. Okay, I have a good fact about our number 7 guy this week. He's a Texas boy, Scotty Scheffler, and I'm not going to take any credit for this, and I'm going to give Jason Sobel on Twitter the credit that he deserves, because he tweeted this morning that when Scotty Scheffler was 9 years old, he actually played at TPC Craig Ranch, and he won the age 7 to 9 division of the Metro Area Championship here. So he knows the course.
See, you've got to have inside information, Diane. Scotty Scheffler has been playing great golf. He played super golf at the match play, got beaten in the final, but he's a Texas guy. He lives in Dallas. He can handle the wind. He is a high ball hitter. Great. I mean, the guy knows everything there is to know. He's in good form. I mean, we've said it at the top. In good form, local guy, knows the course. Going up on the board. And
first in total driving on the PGA Tour. I mean, if it's a course that you don't know all that well, I mean, Scheffler obviously does, but us watching it and us handicapping it, if it's a course that we're not familiar with, you look at, you know, being number 1 in such an important stat on the tour, and you know that this guy is going to figure it out fairly quickly. The next guy on our list is number 2 in total driving, but terrible week for him round Quail Hollow, and really on paper it was going to set up very well for his game, but Jon Rahm comes in at number 8 this week.
Yeah, it was a bad week, as you noted. You know, he just had a new baby, and after Augusta, he had a couple weeks off, and I know what it's like to have a new baby and try to play the tour. And okay, all right. So Rahm had a blowout week last week in a bad way. He'll be thinking ahead of the PGA, but he needs to fix whatever was wrong last week. Very difficult golf course. This one will be a little different. Rahm drives the ball excellent. He just needs to get back to basics. It's a little bit of a dangerous pick, Diane, if you're going to pick him as your top guy this week in your pool or wherever you're betting on. But Rahm, I got an inkling, Diane, that he'll be pretty chapped off about last week, and he'll be looking to get back in action.
Yeah. Incidentally, we haven't really mentioned odds yet, but Jon Rahm is 10 to 1. So is Bryson. Jordan Spieth 12 to 1. Actually, our highest is Ryan Palmer at 50 to 1, which we haven't ranked at number 5. I think those odds are amazing for Ryan Palmer.
Excellent.
Yeah. Okay, coming in at number 9, another guy who's 10 to 1, and it's no surprise you see his name, and he can't be any higher than that. Dustin Johnson in the field this week. As we said, you know, a really solid field the week before the PGA.
Yes, and I think DJ has been off. I've seen him on Instagram swimming and having fun and being relaxed. Again, I have to look at what the motivation is, Diane. We have to talk about Dustin Johnson. He's ranked number 1 player in the world. Is he getting ready for next week for the PGA, and what is he doing this week? But I think things will be a lot more serious for him. I think he'll be more focused this week. I look for a decent week out of DJ this week. This is not a hard golf course. He's not going to get tripped up in different places. This is a course, once you get going, he can keep it going. So let's see what he's got.
Okay, and then to round off our top 10, we have another guy who's 50 to 1. He's won this tournament before, but as we say, this is a completely new course for 2021. He plays a lot in Texas because he lives in Austin, but we have Sergio Garcia at number 10.
Sergio Garcia does really well on courses where there's sort of not much, he comes from Spain. They play on very narrow golf courses. He's able to score relatively easy on these sort of easy type courses. Sergio is a superior striker of the golf ball. It's always about his putting with him, but he lives in Texas. So I just sort of put him on this spot here, Diane. I moved him into this position because I thought he's thinking about next week. He's a super player. He's having a good year. He's played well all year. It's just all about the putting. So yeah, Sergio Garcia rounds out our top 10.
Right, well that is our whole top 10 then. I'll give you the lot. Jordan Spieth, Bryson DeChambeau, Sam Burns, Mark Leishman, Ryan Palmer, Hideki Matsuyama, Scotty Scheffler, John Rahm, Dustin Johnson and Sergio Garcia. Coming up next, well, we're going to talk about another big name in the field who hasn't made it into our top 10 this week. We also have some sizzlers and some dark horse picks with a lot of value this week for the AT&T Byron Nelson.
Play money grabber on the SG Tour. Instead of strokes, it's all about the cash. You pick a team of 4 players, 1 from each tier, and scoring is based on the money that your team wins. Your guys missed the cut? No problem, you're still in the game. The SG Tour Golf Gaming app, available on iOS in the App Store.
Well, we get to see a brand new course on the PGA Tour this week in TPC Craig Ranch. It's the AT&T Byron Nelson in McKinney, Texas, and we're giving you our tour report. I'm Diane Knox, and I'm joined by Steve Elkington. We've gone through our whole re-ranked top 10 elk, but Brooks Koepka is one of the big names in the field this week, and he didn't feature in our 10. Last time we saw Koepka was the Masters, where really he struggled through with that injury that he was still recovering from and surgery, and it was, I think it's evident now, but it was just too soon for him to be back out there.
Yes, indeed. Of course, we said on the show that it was not going to happen for him at the Masters, and it did not. It was too early for him, Diane. Think about this. He played 2 rounds at Augusta, and a month later, another 30 days or 35 days before we see him again. Okay. And here he is this week. So I just hope the guy feels strong and he's feeling fit enough to play 72 holes this week. But Brooks Koepka will be evaluating his game this week, not on whether he can compete for a win. He's going to be thinking about getting back in action. Is the knee okay? Can I play 4 days in a row? He's looking ahead. So this week, we've put him on the bench, so to speak, Diane. We have to see more from him. Let's see if he can play 72 holes. Let's see if he can get the feel back, because let's face it, how do you hit these wedge shots, all the chip shots, under pressure, all this different stuff going on? But mainly, it's all about the leg.
Yeah, and we know how much Koepka loves the PGA Championship. He's won it twice, so that next week is going to be such a motivating factor just to get the game really in shape. Thinking about the second major of the year.
A good goal for him this week is to make it through without any recurring pain in his leg and to play 72 holes. That, I would think, any reasonable person would think would be a good goal for Brooks Koepka this week.
Okay, right, so we are going to go into our sizzlers, guys that really did jump up our re-ranking, and because this is a course that nobody really knows all that well, it's never been played before on the PGA Tour, we have a lot of other factors that we're taking into account this week, and I'm excited about the list that we've got going. So first up, Aaron Wise. He was my dark horse pick last week for the Wells Fargo, and well, he only finished 9th. That was pretty good. And didn't have a great Thursday, Friday, but my gosh, the weekend, 68, 69. Aaron Wise won this tournament in 2018, albeit at a completely different course, but he's going to have some winning memory being back with the AT&T Byron Nelson brand, and he's come into some really good form.
Yes, you're right on everything you just said. Aaron Wise is a sort of a player that maybe not everyone knows about. Came out of University of Oregon, was a national champion there, won the individual championship. won this event, so we know he can handle the southern turf, the putting and so on. But more than anything, Diane, he's in good form. As you noted, he played some of the best golf of anyone over the last 36 holes on the hardest course that they played all year on tour. So how does that work for him? He's going to walk out there this week. He's hitting it perfect. Just beat everybody to pieces on the weekend at Quail Hollow. And this was going to be cake walk for him this week. So yes, it's a very good pick.
The only thing that he struggled with on Sunday was his approach, but his greens and reg is really good on the PGA Tour. I mean, he's 7th, but he played solid, as you said, through the entire bag. So, I mean, he just has to really take that forward, and it's got to be cool, even though it is a different course. This is where he got, this tournament is where he got his first PGA Tour win. So those memories are going to come back too.
I'm sort of sensing that you like this pick a lot more because you had a good one last week, and you're milking this a little bit extra.
Yeah, I will stop.
Yes, we like him as a sizzler.
66-1. I was big on Aaron Wise, obviously, but the next sizzler I was even bigger on for this week, Luke List. Again, really good week around Quail Hollow, and you have to be such a premium ball striker, and he proved that. He's a monster hitter off the tee, but he ended up finishing in a tie for 6th, and in 2012, when he played in the Web.com Tour Finals at this course, he finished in a tie for 13th, so he knows it.
Good form, played the course.
Yeah.
Those are two good things. So, yes, he hits the ball a mile. But yesterday, a young player playing with the past US Open champ Gary Woodland, very close to the lead in the tournament. CBS cameras all over you. I think he just got a little bit out of rhythm at the end and finished 6th. But yes, he's playing great golf. I mean, on a different course, on a different day, he could have played a lot different yesterday. But it's a lot more pressure playing in those last groups on the weekend. Rory did what he had to do, overtook the two-shot deficit he was on Mitchell, has all the experience. Let's see Keith Mitchell step forward and use what he learned yesterday or Sunday and see if he can do something more with it this week.
And you mentioned Gary Woodland. He maybe felt the pressure a little bit as well, because he fell away just on the final stretch really and ended up finishing solo 5th, which is great for him after the injury problems that he's had. And he said that he hit rock bottom after the Valspar. So to then get that finish was amazing for him.
You do feel pressure, Diane, and it has a lot to do with how you're playing. Like when you're playing super golf, you don't feel that much. But when you start to struggle a little bit and you know that you can't win the tournament and you've got to play the last 5 holes at Quail Hollow decent to make a huge check, it's stressful.
Yeah.
It's very stressful. So, and we saw that. I mean, it wasn't over yesterday for even Rory. We had all the stress that he had on 18 yesterday.
Well, Luke List is 60-1. And our third sizzler is 66-1. He was the one playing with Rory in the final round at the Wells Fargo, ended up finishing in a tie for 3rd. I mean, in the round on Sunday, he started so strong, dipped a little bit, but then came back, bogeyed 17, which kind of left it wide open for McIlroy on the 18th tee with a 2-shot lead over Abraham Ancer, who was nicely in the clubhouse. But Keith Mitchell is another one that we've been tracking a bit since the Honda Classic after the Players this year, and his form is just getting better and better.
He's playing great, and the CBS guys, Nance and Faldo, were talking about how much he was waggling and was he nervous and all this, but I watched it very closely on the last 6 or 7 holes. He still played really good golf, Diane. He's hitting the ball good. He's swinging really free. Mitchell has some unfinished business. Again, he checks the boxes for us. These may be obvious to everyone, and they say, oh, well, yeah, he finished 2nd yesterday, whatever, or 3rd. But yes, he just missed out on getting into PGA. With his, what did he finish? 4th place yesterday, just finished the PGA. So he's going to play this week and have a forced break. So he's going to put everything he can into this event this week.
Yeah.
Okay then, so our 3 sizzlers for the AT&T Byron Nelson: Aaron Wise at 66-1, Luke List at 60-1, and Keith Mitchell 66-1. So a lot of value in those sizzlers. We're going to be back in a minute and we're going to talk about our dark horse picks. Jay is still sunning it up in Hawaii. I mean, no one's heard from him, so we think he's still there. He'd actually texted us saying that his dark horse for last week was Carlos Ortiz, who was right in the mix over the weekend. But anyway, we have 3 names that we're going to give you with great odds for the Byron Nelson.
Saturday is considered moving day and you can play along on the SG Tour. It's a one-day stroke play competition where you select a team of 4 players to shoot the lowest scores of the day. Will you make big moves? Download the SG Tour Golf Gaming app on iOS now.
Well, we're on to the final part of our tour report this week and it's time for the dark horse picks. Have I mentioned already that my dark horse pick was Aaron Wise last week, who got a top 10 finish? Just say it.
Yes, you have.
And the good thing about these dark horses is I think, we're not saying the outright winner, but there's definitely value in saying a top 10 finish, top 15 finish. So anyway, that would have paid out pretty big last week.
I said it already, Diane. A lot of people have texted me saying that I should just listen to your dark horse picks and pick top 10s from you guys because that's where all the easy money is what they're saying.
Let's make the money. Okay, well, we've said already with TPC Craig Ranch this week that we are big on people who have played it before and have had a little bit of success here. And our first dark horse pick fits both categories, 125 to 1. Ben Martin. Now, he finished in a tie for 11th last week around Quail Hollow, and in 2012 for the Web.com Tour Championship he ended up finishing in a tie for 13th alongside Luke List, who's one of our sizzlers this week. But Ben Martin found some great form last week. He's taking that forward to a course that he has had some success around.
Yeah, we talked about all during this show who has the advantage on a course that nobody knows. And we got good form and guys that have played here before. So yes, Ben Martin has started to emerge. I don't even know Ben Martin. I can't picture his swing inside of my head, but I follow along with everyone else in our team talking about these young emerging players. Ben Martin is doing it. He's playing great. He played a great tournament last week at Wells Fargo, and he knows this golf course.
He's, as we say, finished T11th last week. He finished tied for 9th at the Punta Cana tournament. I'm just looking at his money for the season so far. 334,000, 162nd in the FedEx Cup rank. So his goal has to be that 125, as a lot of those guys obviously have that as their goal. So he needs some continuous form to try and chase that.
Well, you're right. And what you just said there is very important. I'll give you an example. 165, you said, in FedEx?
162.
My other friend, Jason Duffner, who's I think 170th, very experienced players, not playing this week, but I'll give you an example of 2 players going different directions. Yeah. Ben Martin is in good form. He needs to play well. That's I'm into motivation. That means he's motivated. He knows the golf course and he's in good form. Those are three strikes for him. My friend Jason Duffner, who's not playing this week, but he had a bad last round, Wells Fargo. I think he shot 6 over yesterday. He doesn't have the momentum, so he's got to regather it again. I'm looking for players that are automatically probably going to come out the first day and play great.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so, well, we have Ben Martin at 125 to 1 as a dark horse. Our next one is 350 to 1. We've talked before about the course and, with it being a new course, we've said this so many times now that it's important, guys that have played it before. This guy is defending champion of the tournament. He won in 2019. Also, this is his home club. So he's going to see pictures of himself everywhere this week. He's going to be interviewed as the defending champion. And it's a course that he knows maybe better than anyone else. So Sung Kang is our second dark horse.
If we look at Sun Kang on the list, we can't put him anywhere. But when he's a member of this golf course, Diane, that has to equate for something. And I've already talked about it. 1 stroke of 9. Okay. So he knows the most about this golf course. So yes, he's moved way up. That's like statistics. That's like form. He knows exactly where to hit it off every hole. He knows exactly what the putts are going to do. He doesn't have to look at a greens reading book. He doesn't have to do anything. He knows everything there is. So yes, this is the best long dark horse pick of all time.
And incredible odds, 350 to 1. I mean, amazing. So again, value in like maybe a top 10 or a top 20. So Sung Kang is our second one. And then our third dark horse pick, I'm handing this completely over to you because you know this guy. You have mentioned this guy's name to me for probably the past 2 and a bit years, but Cole Hammer is in the field this week, and it's going to be great to see him playing on the PGA Tour. Tell us about Cole.
Oh, Cole Hammer is a member of my club, the Champions Club here. He's a young man, a great kid. He's really sort of a giant beater. He beats all the top players. He just finished at the Walker Cup. He won 3 matches. He was clinched the final match yesterday to win the Cup. He was tied once, so he's basically undefeated at the Walker Cup. Plays at the University of Texas. But Diane, he's only a small in stature guy. Probably doesn't weigh but 160 pounds. And I think he tried to bulk up a little bit last year and he kind of ruined his game. And we had a little bit of a talk about, hey, let's just get back to being Cole Hammer. And he did it again. He plays bigger than he is. And I'm just putting him in here this week, Diane, because I just know Cole Hammer, and he knows how to play. And he's sort of like a Tom Kite, a Ben Crenshaw, not that big a man, but big when it comes to playing.
I actually, I interviewed him. I was working at a college event last year in Vegas, right before the pandemic really hit, and Cole Hammer was out there and he played great. I think final day, he did not play well at all and he was really disappointed. But what a lovely guy. He's kind of like the next wave. If you think about like Morikawa and Hovland and Wolf, he played in that NCAA tournament with them a couple of years ago when they came as emerging stars to join the tour. Cole Hammer's almost like that next wave that's going to come up.
Well, Cole Hammer probably 2 years ago, Diane, was the #1 amateur in the world. I don't know what he is today, maybe in the top 15, but still he carries a big stick, Cole Hammer. He's a little man, but putts good. I think they talked about on the telecast. I watched the Walker Cup, Diane. He anchored almost every match. I mean, Nathaniel Crosby knows how good Cole Hammer plays. Put him all the way in the back with all the pressure, and he just delivered every match. Now, I know he was playing other amateurs from your neck of the woods, Diane, but that's a lot of pressure, and Cole Hammer will be on the PGA Tour. You will see him soon on the tour, and this is just going to be a little snapshot this week, and it's in his backyard, so to speak. So I'm all over Cole Hammer.
As you say, he was the #1 ranked amateur in the world. He's 14th right now, and just when you Google his name, there's headlines after the Walker Cup saying he's back, a renewed Hammer, and so it's cool. There's a bit of buzz around him, and it's going to be brilliant to see him go out there and see how his game stacks up on the PGA Tour against the other guys.
Absolutely. There's no flies on Cole Hammer. He's going to be fine.
275 to 1 as well. So our dark horses are Ben Martin, Sung Kang and Cole Hammer. Right, Elk, so this week we're excited to see TPC Craig Ranch, and then next week it's an important one because it's the second major of 2021 and the one that you won, the PGA Championship.
Yes, I did, Diane. And by the way, I won't be doing my drawings this week because I have not played this golf course and I don't know what to do on that course. So, but I'm going to have them ready for next week.
Yeah, and we're going to talk to a few people over the next couple of days as well. So, I don't know, maybe I'll pull something together by the weekend.
Maybe. I'm gonna call Colt Noss. He knows everything about this course. Okay. He's from McKinney, Texas.
Perfect.